In Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, Bob Ewell serves as one of the most unsettling and essential characters in the novel. As the father of Mayla Ewell and the primary antagonist in Tom Robinson's trial, Bob represents the worst elements of Maycomb society: racism, ignorance, cowardice, and cruelty. Though his presence in the novel is not extensive in terms of page count, his influence is profound. Through Bob Ewell, Lee exposes the ugliness of unchecked prejudice and moral failure, using him to symbolize the dark underbelly of a community that outwardly clings to values like justice and decency. Role in the narrative. Bob Ewell's most prominent role in the narrative centers on his false accusation of Tom Robinson. After discovering his daughter Mayla attempting to seduce Tom, Bob beats her, and then shifts the blame to Tom to preserve what little social standing he has. By accusing Tom of rape, Bob manipulates the racist structures of Maycomb to his advantage, knowing that a black man's word stands no chance against a white man's in court, especially not in 1930s Alabama. This accusation sets the central conflict of the novel in motion: the trial of Tom Robinson. Without Bob Ewell's deceit, the story's central moral crisis would not occur. He thus plays a vital catalytic role, launching the events that expose the town's deep-seated racial injustice and bringing the Finch family into confrontation with Maycomb's prejudice. Bob is also the physical manifestation of the novel's antagonist force. He does not merely represent opposition in the courtroom, but becomes a real threat to the safety of the protagonists. His vengeful nature culminates in the climactic attack on Scout and Jem, a cowardly act of violence that Boo Radley ultimately thwarts. This final confrontation underscores Bob Ewell's role as a figure of danger, hatred, and moral corruption. Symbolic significance. Bob Ewell functions as a powerful symbol of bigotry, ignorance, and the failures of societal systems. He represents the portion of white Southern society that clings to racial superiority and uses it to mask its own shortcomings. Despite being among the most impoverished and disreputable people in Maycomb, Bob still views himself as inherently superior to black citizens, a delusion upheld by the racist norms of his community. His family's living conditions, located near the town dump, with a broken-down house and children dressed in rags, serve as a poignant symbol of societal neglect and generational decay. While characters like Atticus Finch strive to uplift society through education and empathy, Bob Ewell symbolizes moral and social regression, perpetuating ignorance instead of overcoming it. Bob also stands for the misuse of power. His ability to bring a false charge against Tom Robinson and be taken seriously by the courts, despite his reputation, underscores the institutionalized racism embedded in Maycomb's justice system. His character exposes the terrifying truth that in a racially biased society, even the most unreliable individual can wield devastating influence if it aligns with the town's prejudices. Broader implications. Bob Ewell's actions directly engage with the novel's central theme of racial injustice. He knows that his word will be believed over Tom Robinson's simply because he is white. His manipulation of this power dynamic reveals the deep flaws within the justice system and society at large. He doesn't act out of a pursuit of justice but from hatred, fear of exposure, and a desire to maintain a crumbling sense of authority. Through Ewell, Lee illustrates how racism is not just a matter of individual prejudice, but a systemic issue, where even the courts, supposedly the bastion of fairness, are influenced by social hierarchies and racial biases. Bob Ewell also represents the intersection of poverty and ignorance. While Harper Lee doesn't equate being poor with being immoral, as shown through characters like the Cunninghams, she presents Bob Ewell as someone who uses his poverty as an excuse for his violent and unethical behavior. He is lazy, abusive, and a person with alcoholism, refusing to improve his life or provide for his children in any meaningful way. Bob Ewell is also a symbol of toxic masculinity, exerting his dominance over his daughter and family through violence and fear. It is strongly implied that he not only beats Mayla, but may have also sexually abused her. His ability to twist her act of kindness toward Tom Robinson into a story of rape not only ruins Tom's life, but also permanently damages Mayla's. In this way, Bob represents the destructive nature of patriarchal power. He silences his daughter and uses her as a pawn in his larger effort to preserve his false sense of authority. His character critiques both domestic abuse and the societal structures that allow such abuse to remain hidden or unchallenged. Bob Ewell's final act, attacking Scout and Jem, represents a direct threat to innocence, both literally and symbolically. He goes after Atticus's children, seeking revenge not on a legal basis but through cowardly violence. His actions confirm that evil in To Kill a Mockingbird is not abstract. It is real, personal, and capable of harming even the most innocent. The fact that Boo Radley, the reclusive, misunderstood neighbor, saves the children from Ewell's attack highlights the novel's recurring theme that true goodness can come from unexpected places, just as true evil can arise from within the community. Conclusion: Bob Ewell is not merely a villain. He is the embodiment of the most destructive forces in Maycomb: racism, ignorance, cowardice, and abuse of power. Through his character, Harper Lee exposes the profound moral failings of a society that prioritizes racial hierarchy and social appearances over truth and justice. His lies sent an innocent man to prison. His hatred nearly kills 2 children. And his manipulation of social systems reveals how easily evil can disguise itself in the guise of law and order, when those systems are built on injustice. By the end of the novel, Bob Ewell is dead, killed in the act of trying to destroy innocence, but the damage he has done lingers. His character stands as a grim reminder of how deep-rooted prejudice can corrode both individuals and entire communities.